Welcome to Built for This, the podcast where purpose meets performance. Hosted by business strategist and human behavior specialist Carly Pepin, this show dives into the real stories behind high-growth businesses. Let's bring life to your vision.
All right, guys, so I am really excited for today. We have a really cool guest on. So Armen Alajian, who's the co-owner of ARTO Brick Tile. So if you have not looked up ARTO Brick Tile yet, I highly suggest it. I remember Armen speaking about his tile, about like people have their dream homes, and he wants this tile to be the dream tile. And if you look at it online, it's gorgeous. And when you see it in person, I would say you become obsessed. Like you've definitely nailed that one. So this is going to be really fun because he scaled a pretty cool artisan company. It's a family-owned company and family-founded, and they do handcrafted tiles and architectural surfaces, and it's all made in California, which is pretty cool. It's he's a son, a brother, a husband, and a father. And he leads with a passion for design, craftsmanship, and curation, bringing artistry and utility to create materials that bring enduring beauty to built spaces. So thank you so much for coming, Armen. I'm really excited to dive into this with you.
Will you bleep out things if I say something incorrectly?
I could. Yes, you can give me a heads up.
I'm gonna give you a heads up. I almost put on there, we make cool shit for people making cool places.
I will tell you, I don't have to bleep out any of that at all. Like you're free for all on this one. There's really not too much that you could say that I would actually want to eject. So I think you're good to go. But yeah, so basically
Videos may affect your YouTube reach. That's all.
that's okay. I don't actually mind. I'd rather have you be authentic.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So awesome. So yeah, again, thank you for coming. I really appreciate this.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were a kid, did you ever envision that this was what you would be doing?
I grew up. The answer is what the kid's a big word, right? 1 through I'm 55. So I'm still a kid, but I know in my early childhood I didn't know any better, and I love using the wet saw and the smell of clay. So I grew up doing that. And then when I tried to go to college, I wanted to be materials engineer, and I liked work better, and I needed more sleep than was allowed. So I like materials from the beginning, and I remember making a smelter in the backyard, melting aluminum cans. I'm sure that was illegal, but it was fire. And yeah, I'm in a business that I get to make materials, and I don't know if I was going to ever be working with my dad, but I didn't think of it not working with him either. So
Okay.
a
Yeah.
lot of blabbering there.
No, it's okay. I'm curious too, like, what do you love about creating the materials? Like, why is it so important for you? Because it's not, if we could describe a little bit more how you create materials, I'd love for listeners to understand it's not just that you're creating tile, like the tile really does transform a space. So what is so important about that to you?
So I am a better editor on the shape world, and I know what I like and don't like. I think that what I really do like more than the shape of a product or a dimension, I like color and texture.
Hmm.
So I think end of the day, if I was to pick, I had a choice. I'd rather focus on color and texture even on the shape of a tile. So my passion, what I like, is the material itself and how it looks and feels in my hand, and how like color. I used to say color you can feel, and texture you can see. So like it's so
Yeah.
much texture you can see it, and so much color you can feel it.
Yeah, I love that. No, it's beautiful. And it's funny because when you do see the tile, it does have that dynamic, right? Where there is like my mom, she put the concrete tile in her front room, which is that's where we started. But it was beautiful because it's like the colors, and we did the mix of the gray and the white, and then also the
So you're a customer.
texture. We are a customer. Yeah.
Oh, you're cheating. Like, I thought that you found me because of my great social profile. Okay.
Oh no, no, no. I'm obsessed with your tile. I was like, when I started the podcast, I was like, who am I gonna talk to? I was like, well, I gotta get Armen on. Like the tile is actually just it's phenomenal. Like it's phenomenal. We're redoing our bathroom, we're using some of it as well. But it is quite a phenomenal product. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it really does change the room, right? It really changes the room and how the room feels. And I would say that you really kind of nailed that dynamic with the color, with the texture. Yeah, so it's quite inspiring. And so this is an artisan company, right? Like this is stuff is handmade in California. And I would love the listeners to learn a little bit more because the only thing I can really equate like having access to something like this to is like when I go to Europe, genuinely, and I see you go to these really old historical buildings and you see these gorgeous ceramic tiles that have stood the test of time. When I look at your tiles, like that's something that I see as well is these like really just profoundly handcrafted tiles that are going to stay on the test of time. So tell a little bit about the artisan process and like how you guys actually create these.
Poverty.
Poverty. He has a business in California. So
Yeah, you know that probably. So I always wanted to be the biggest and the best, and through the lack of capital, we made things the way we could by hand and machine aided. We don't mix the materials by hand. We use a mixer for that, for example. And so as the world became automated and streamlined, we remained not because we were smart, because we were poor in this handcrafted world. And you wake up and all of a sudden you realize that you raise the price to pay your people properly, and then between the price being higher and the lack of availability and the beauty of the product, you cannot find a similar product that's made the same way in another country. So those elements, I mean, we didn't plan it. It was literally, it became who we are by the lack of capital. And sometimes scarcity it's not always, but scarcity can help. Maybe when we were in the desert and I was talking to you and I couldn't get a hold of you, it was, maybe I said it then, good music and good food is created by, poverty. And you can even say lack of resources can help make an even more beautiful tile beautiful because it was either reclaimed from another project or it was made with rudimentary materials, and you can feel the material. Because nowadays the modern products, our modern world, I mean, an old wooden table versus a new wooden table, something
yeah.
different about them. Even if it was a veneer, I'm looking at a table here. Even if it's a veneer on this table on my desk, it's an old table. You can't see it, audience. And but a new table would have a veneer as thin as paper, and you can feel it, even if you really can't. You can
Yeah.
you can just so the materials are. I guess I hate the word authentic, so I won't use it. But just it. Um, Materials in our world today, because there's so much plastic everywhere and it's not a bad thing all the time. We have to have it in places. The lid for my cup was nice. But yeah, I don't know what I just said. Bring me back,
Yeah.
Carly.
Well, basically, you're talking about the materials present day versus materials past. But from what I'm understanding, because you guys are still like, instead of the veneer company, like you're still the company that is like the hardwood, like gorgeous dynamic. So you've kind of held on to that.
Even though
Mhm.
our old name was ARTO Brick Veneer because it was not holding up the home, and it was a veneer on a wall. So even though our brick's not holding up the house, he called it, my dad Arto called it a veneer.
Yeah. It's so wild.
Now they call it thin brick.
Thin
Yeah.
brick. Yeah. And people like it better, I'm sure.
Yeah, veneer sounds like my teeth, which I don't have any on my teeth, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. It's the teeth or that weird film that they put on top of stuff. So you're like, I
yeah,
think we'll call it thin brick.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious too, because scaling a company like this, right? Like, what's that like? Because this is like handmade stuff, and I know that that changes the game when you guys are scaling the business.
I travel a lot to see factories that are handcrafted factories, or even factories that are semi-automated. We're very blessed to have a team that I mean that I was at a factory a month ago. I'm making a brick veneer, and I was like, how do they do this? went to the bathroom there. Sorry, and it was the dirtiest bathroom I've ever seen. Like, are you from local, right, Carly?
Yeah, I'm local, so I'm from Los Angeles originally. Yeah.
So you imagine going to the Venice Beach bathroom.
Oh, it's the worst.
Okay,
Needles on the floor.
bathroom. Yeah, that was the bathroom that I went to for the guy side, at least.
Yeah.
And our guy, we have a bunch of men here. It's like 80% men, 20% women, but they look you in the eye. They're not scared to say hi to you. They smile because I think one of our traits here is hospitality, and so my dad always taught us that the the that everyone's created equal, and to treat the person at the lowest job and the highest job with equal respect and love. And so I think that what he taught us and the foundation we have there is based on a team that will work, treat them with love and respect, say hi to everybody, and would mean it. And they work their ass off.
Hmm.
Cash side, I remember growing and suffering because we don't have any lines or capital in the side. When we were, I'd say 1999 through 2010, we were growing and I felt the poorest.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm successful. I'm paying taxes with the money I don't have, but like we're paying taxes, and then you don't, we're cash cycle, right? You order it, I make it. I've already paid for the sand and gravel. I pay for the labor every Friday, and I may have sold it to a tile store, and I ship it. So that's 30 days from I shipping. Hopefully, I got paid. So yeah, I've been going up the food chain of success. Oh man, success can kill you.
Yeah. Growth sucks cash for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So I would tell you the hardest part about growth has been financial. Is
Okay.
That's the hardest part. And in 2018, I'll call it, just it might be wrong. We got a CFO that was on a swan song, which means his last job or just wanted to keep busy before he really retired, and he got stuck here and he loved it. He's still part of our team, and I wish I had a CFO when I was young, man, or
Yeah.
personal, whatever. And that would have, it's like night and day your life with a real financial helper or guide or leader, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, he sounds like he's been quite a game changer. So has he restructured things to just help like shift the cash flow, shift the growth opportunities?
He says no to me.
I love it.
He's my no guy, and Steve. And at the same time, we go through it, and he tells me my job is to give you all the bad news of this project, and lower cogs on my wall. I have a dollar. It's the old saying: "A dollar saved, a dollar earned." That's been on my wall since he showed up. I think about last week, so 8 years ago he showed up, right? I guess that's the math. And I think I figured that out about a year ago. Literally, when I save a dollar, it's not. It's like selling $5. So it's like literally a dollar saved is a dollar earned. And I will say back to him: if you don't sell anything, though, you can't save any money, though. You have to sell tile. So that's my. Oh, and then if you observe it, the observer and what you observe does change. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing.
simple stuff. It sounds dumb, but when there,
Yeah, I'm curious how you apply that last dynamic when you observe it and like the observation, like it changes. I'm curious how you apply that one.
um, we had a project at Arto. I did not give a proper metric to measure it and a proper like cadence to talk about it, and so it didn't go anywhere. And we just started doing it. I started being that guy that said, "What's the numbers on it for this week?" And then I asked the VP of sales to share it with the team every Monday. And we've done nothing different but look at it. And I hate that it's so simple. I hate that it's so simple. Did I say that I don't like how dumb it is?
Yes.
It works. It just works.
That's awesome.
You're right.
It is.
I found that's also in physics. It's not like it's like
Yeah.
that. What's that physics where it's between the macro and the micro? it's the quantum. It's
Yes.
they don't know why it works, but when you look at it, you're changed, and so is the observed changes.
Yeah, that's why I was curious how you're applying it because it's one of the most well-known, quantum experiments where they shot all of the atoms at a wall. And yeah, and like when we observe it, it acts like in a very specific way and it's very finite, right? Like it only goes through the slots, but when there's no observer placed on it, it actually goes into a wave, and they call it a wave of potential. And so it's really funny because it's like, how do we apply that to life and even our mindset and our mind is that when we're so focused on something and something looks a specific way, we only see it that specific way when the truth is it's actually like a wave of potentials. And so when we like shift the perception and look at it differently, we have access to the wave of potentials.
Yeah, and you can. I mean, from what I remember of my weak ass physics, that
Yeah.
the atom is a solid. It won't go through another atom, right? And so when you're not looking through it, it can walk through walls.
He does it all. Yeah.
That's really weird. Like you said, there's slots but if that was they will go through the wave, will go through the wall and think of an atom again. How but what the hell?
Yeah. Just as soon as we observe it, it's like an atom again. But before that, it was like a wave, and everyone's like, "What the?" And then when we apply it, because everything's like made of atoms, so it's interesting when we apply it practically to life. I actually think it's really quite helpful. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's cool.
and the law of entropy, with
Yeah.
you to break one for your life and the business, and for another truth in the world of physics, right? If you're not in the simplest of it, if you're not growing, you're dying. It's like there's no
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. It's really fascinating. I also really like Peter's principle where we graduate to our next level of incompetence, And so even as a business, it's like our business graduates to like the next level of incompetence.
I was at a conference this past week, and one of the things that the millennials may do better than us is they don't really want to move up the food chain. They want to have more responsibility, which is different. And so you may actually give someone a lot more training to have another role within the business, but not make them into a manager. Because as we know, Carly, people suck.
They can suck sometimes. It's not inaccurate. It's funny though, because it is a different dynamic. I was just talking to someone else about this with the millennials. They also really want to enjoy their jobs more, which I've noticed is they're more sticklers. They're less of just wanting to go to work for the sake of going to work. And they also, it just seems like they want something a bit more meaningful and they're willing to even sacrifice, I've noticed, pay for something that's more meaningful
Efficient.
versus yeah, versus back in the day when it was like we're just gonna go and we're gonna work hard and then we want to retire, and it's an interesting dynamic. So it's a bit of a shift in the world.
Best generation, Generation X, and then
Mhm.
the boomers, they ruined the world, and then the sound generation, they seem to be the similar millennials where they
Yeah.
out of the duty and passion more than I mean they did hard work and they did it. They didn't want to. They just wanted to pay the bills, and I think the millennials just want to pay the bills and live life. They don't mind working.
Mm.
It's not who they are.
Yeah, a little bit of both, a little bit of both, which
I
is
thought they one of the ways they used that story is they had a meme. The punchline was, "What if I play what's that saying? I play like hell and work like what's that saying they have?"
work hard, play hard.
Yeah,
Oh,
the punchline
similar.
was, "I want a medium. I want to work medium and play medium." Okay,
That's awesome. That's really funny. Okay, I guess my generation was a work hard, play hard. Uh, I like that. It actually reminds me of Australia. I lived there for a year and it was very helpful because I came from the fashion industry way back when, and that was just like crazy hectic. Everything was due yesterday. I did love it. I really thrived in the environment, but it was interesting when I moved to Australia where everything is slower. And when I say everything is slower, I mean everything is slower. Like going to the grocery store and checking out is slower. And so all of a sudden, my normal productivity in a day like slowed down. And the first day I was there, my friend looks at me and he just goes, "You're gonna need to chill out, Carly." Like we're a little bit more like, let's enjoy life kind of dynamic. And I was like, okay. It was hysterical, but it was really helpful because I kind of just really got to slow down and find like a really beautiful balance between working but also enjoying life like to a far greater degree and just figuring out like every day is like, what do I feel like doing? What do I love to do? Like, I don't have to work as crazy in this environment as I was used to, and we still got a lot done, which was really cool.
Australia seems like a country that has the best of Europe and the best of America and a little bit of Asia for spice. Am I correct or no?
Australia is pretty amazing. Yes, they also have, I spent most of my time in Sydney and on the Central Coast, and they also have amazing art. Like their art scene was amazing, their music scene was amazing, the food was so good,
You
man.
have
Like
the
I wasn't
Anglo
expecting it.
food and you have Asian influence, right? I imagine it's off the
Yeah, the Asian food out there is off the hook 100%. Like it is, I finally found a restaurant near me that like has like Thai food that tasted
I have my
like good
pen.
Thai.
The place. Oh,
It's actually in Loma Linda and it's Kinu, Kynnnu. And it's so good. It's so good. It was not like heavy and like crazy. It was just like fresh Thai food with these beautiful flavors. But it's hysterical because it's like, yeah, they just nailed it. Like they nailed it over there.
what's the podcast about?
Technically, the podcast is about business and life. Yeah.
I like when organized here. Business. I think, Carly, I do this with humor and I try to talk to everybody on the team.
Yep.
And I love hate people. I love people more than I hate them. And I thrive relationships. I'm not that. I wish I was a little bit meaner, meaning or not meaner. That's the wrong word. Um, I didn't attach to people. I think I'd be richer if I wasn't if I wasn't attached to people. I probably can be shrewder with them. So I love relationships, and that's a blessing. Also, slowed you down a bit.
Yeah.
I imagine in Australia, what slowed it down was when you saw a friend, you actually didn't say, I gotta go. You probably invested 35 minutes into a hello.
Yeah, you do. You invest a lot more time. And it's true, it does slow you down. It's interesting because I moved, so I'm living just outside of Los Angeles now, up in Lake Arrowhead, which I'm sure you know about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it helped me in a sense because I did want to scale my business and it gave me extra time because it's just more isolated, ironically. And so because all my friends live down there, it's like I'm not seeing as many people, but the benefit to me was I've really had the opportunity to scale my business the past couple of years the way that I wanted to, which I never would have been able to do if I had the same social life. And so it was kind of like this perfect balance and perfect split. So yeah, there is the benefit to like having the work-life balance, but if you have these certain goals, sometimes it's like I just need to isolate a little bit, guys. Like hunker down.
It's like a 2 hour flight to LA for dinner.
Yeah, basically. Basically. But most people come visit me because I live in like a retreat spot, so they get really excited to coming out.
Oh, yeah, I'll come up with how's the food up there, the food scene up there.
The food scene, there is no food scene. It is
Uh, I
awful. It's
understand living in a food desert. You have to go to where? To Redlands to get food?
well, that's what I was saying. That Thai place in Loma Linda, we were like, what? Like, is this like magic? Like, how did we even uncover this? This is better than any place that I've been to in LA. And so I was really surprised. Yeah.
The natural grocer or Whole Foods to you?
Yeah, we don't have any of that up here either, which is fun. And being from LA, I mean, I'm sure you understand, like we want our organic food. And every now and then I'd go to Erewhon and get a smoothie because of course I want to pay
Now you're
$20.
rich. I went to Arrow for the first time and I had a croissant ham and cheese sandwich and it
Yeah.
was $18, but it was oh my, it was
It's
really
so
good.
good. Isn't it good? The rule at Erewhon, by the way, for anyone who goes to Erewhon, don't buy groceries there. Only go to the hot bar. If you buy
I had
groceries, you're gonna
one,
go
yeah,
broke.
it out finally. I was like, I never had gone. And when I first time going in, I walked into the one in Manhattan Beach. I walked in and you see all of the smoothies and the mason
Yeah.
jars. It's like crayons everywhere. It's beautiful.
It's
Oh,
gorgeous.
it's gorgeous in there.
Yeah, and they make you feel so, speaking of business. Hey everyone, it's Carly. If you're really resonating with what we're talking about and want to get clear on what truly drives you, what your core values are, head on over to my website. In the tools and tips section, there is a free values assessment. And this is a quick exercise that's going to help you to uncover what actually matters most with you so you can lead and live with more clarity, fulfillment, and momentum. Go to an Erewhon also to learn about business. You will walk out spending so much and be like, why do I feel like so comfortable spending this much at a grocery store? I got one bag. And we laugh because the environment that they create and the culture that they create, it's this dynamic that you walk in and walk out and you're like, of course I'm going to spend that money. And it's hysterical. So definitely if you have an opportunity, go visit Erewhon, get some of their hot food. And especially if you love business, it is a very cool business model. They have done incredibly well with it. And the culture dynamic with the people who go in, every single one has a different culture. It's really fun.
Oh, they are different cultures?
If you go to every different Erewhon, there is a different culture at each Erewhon. I am a human behavior specialist, so I'm obsessed with this. I love it. So you go to the one in Calabasas, and it's a completely different crowd and vibe than if you're at the one in Venice versus if you go to the one in Santa Monica or Palisades. And it's like the place has somehow made it where every spot you go fits the culture. Somehow they've done this of like where they're surrounded by. So when you go in, no matter where you are, you feel like you're at home, and you meet the people you want to hang out with. So again, all joking aside, they have fun, good food and it is expensive, but you're so engrossed in your own culture there. Like you feel so comfortable and it's really amazing what they've done.
It's like we should have this is the best read in ever. I mean, this makes founders read nothing. This is like we put Erewhon into the feed and
Yeah.
no one knows it's an ad. Great.
No, it's true, right? I should tell them that. I got to tell them. I'm be like, you're going to be in a lot of my feeds, so let's talk. Just give me free food when I go in and smoothies.
Yeah, that's they probably can't afford to give you free food themselves.
Facts. Facts. Okay, so back to your company, who is like the Erewhon of like tile, by the way. Beautiful, amazing tile that transforms. Really beautiful. So I'm curious as well, because you talked a lot about your culture, right? And like the people and how your culture is people love showing up, people love working. Like, what do you do to create that there? I know part of it you kind of mentioned is how you're treating people, but is there anything else you guys engage in that kind of build that level of loyalty?
I'm not the best payer. I'm okay. I don't take advantage of employees. I do think um that it's the culture, and it's not even my culture, right? Because if you can, at Arda, if you can, probably any job, you stay around 6 months, you're here forever. Probably not ever, but a long time. I don't think I do anything differently than that. And actually, I'm not. Um, I'm over my hands. I think I'm the like a golden retriever of humans. I just like everybody the first time I meet them, I guess.
That's awesome.
I am learning that I am likable as well. And I come across I can be very direct with strangers and they laugh either nervously or for real. So I think it's boss respecting the people, the property, and then the people being a good culture that was already here
Mm.
that is feeding itself of. So I couldn't can it. I don't know. I would love so the negatives. I would like to be a bit more like a team, not complete like a team, but less family, more team. That way, I could be a better company, but I don't want to lose the family part either. So that's something I journal and think about how to do that properly. Because when families, you have a lot of dysfunction as well, Carly. What are you again? You said you're a people reader, you said?
So I'm a human behavior specialist.
So
Yes.
that's a big
And
law. What, Carly, I'm going to write down your answer. What kind of personality do I have? It's a blessing and a curse.
well, okay, so here's the fun thing. Everything is a blessing and a curse.
I know that.
Every everything that we do. So even that dynamic of being open and connected, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse. It's a blessing because like people want to hang out with you, they want to spend time with you, but it's also a curse because like as especially I've seen this so much is people can get locked into environments and they'll stay stuck at a company just because they have that connection where maybe they don't even want to do that anymore and maybe they're skipping out on what's important to them. So if we just see that everything has like both sides, it's very helpful because then we're not seeking or avoiding any of these behaviors, but we actually just get to kind of show up and do our thing and be ourselves, and other people can do that.
or just choose the one you know it might be this, choosing it, not being a pleaser. I'm a people pleaser, Carly. I said you didn't want to you want to give it you didn't want to take a chance to make a mistake.
Uh,
The blessing and the
well,
curse, right?
even people pleasing. Sometimes we people please and sometimes we don't. Like I definitely people please. I definitely people please. And then I'll do it because there's something that I want too. Like let's be real. Like we're also doing it
Are
because
you selfish, Carly?
we're all so selfish. Oh my gosh. But we're also selfless. Like we have both sides, right? So we'll people please, like because we want to get something. But if there's not something that's at the basically there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, people will walk away and they won't do it. But if you see a pot of gold, and sometimes it depends on what's important to you, but like sometimes the pot of gold is like spending time with a person. You know, I mean, you have kids, I have family. So sometimes the pot of gold is the person, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like we kind of have also a selfless dynamic and we're like, well, okay, I'm going to do what it takes right now to get that pot of gold because you're the pot of gold I want. You know, but it's just to see, it's kind of a fun exercise to do too. If you go through all the spaces that you've done people pleasing and why you've done it and what you got out of it, it's really cool because you learn more about yourself and what's truly important to you and what you're willing to do to actually obtain that. And if you look at all the times you don't, you're going to be like, well, apparently that sucked for me. I don't want that.
Yeah. I had two things in my process of understanding who I am, and that is number one, when I let go of the paper bank and had just doing things for doing things, because I'm pleasing somebody for hopefully a return. When I remove the paper bank from my mindset, it released me to be even more free, I guess, for giving without need for return of the kindness or whatever
Yeah.
it did. And then my guilt. If I did need something from Carly in 2 years from now, I call Carly every month for no reason.
Yeah.
Just to have my like, hey Carly, I need you to read my, your talent of, but I not the word to use, but using it
Yep.
for your talents. I gotta make sure I talk to her on a regular basis. I don't, hey, I need help, So,
Well,
sorry.
and this is the fun part too, because if you understand what's important to me, then you can also see if by you people pleasing to get what you want, I also get what I want. It's a win-win scenario, you know?
And
Win-win. And that's why I love learning about people. You know, so technically it's like a business podcast, but because I am who I am, I can't not talk about life and like people and who we are and like how we function and what's important to us and what's not important to us. Because it's like it's the most powerful tool you can ever have. I truly believe people are the most powerful tool on the planet. Like everything is created and run because of our ingenuity. Like we live the way we live today because of who we are. And so it's like the more that we can harness that in ourselves and others, it's just like, wow, like I have access to like the best things on the planet, you know? So it's a really important dynamic.
even if it's only Ralph's, it's still better. It's better than having no Ralph's. So
Totally.
that's the local market. Everybody doesn't know.
I have Stater Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's up on the hill.
Yeah. They have Stater Brothers up here. Stater Brothers.
Organic department that big? Is organics that big?
No, well, it is kind of small, but like Stater Brothers is actually like not too bad up here. Another shout out to Stater Brothers doing really well with their produce and keeping it pretty fresh, and I appreciate
I
that.
could read in today. Like,
Yeah.
you made like $200 already.
Honestly, I really got to reach out for sponsorship.
If you make it natural,
It's true. It's true. I can bring it
yeah.
up really
I
naturally.
think the best read guy is Serena from Founders. Like he's talking about whatever, and then he's reading that. I didn't know.
We're like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And yes, I'll buy it. Yes.
Yeah. Um, how long was this podcast?
So it's an hour. How are you doing?
Oh, I got time, but so I'll go back. I think there's a person that I forget his actual company brand, but I remember his name, Philip, and he has a saying that commerce is culture.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, so business is being able to count properly, which you have and don't have. That is the CFO side over here. And then the other part of it is the people part. So my dad would say I cannot pay an employee enough for his time.
Mhm.
And at the same time, the employee cannot give me enough of himself or herself for the money I give. So it's an equity automatically. I don't get what I really we don't have a pure transaction in dollars. There's no way to get that. But if there's more than money involved, it's a cultural exchange as well. The that's the family part. The backwards or not backwards, but if you hold on to employees long, it's because they enjoy being here, even if it might be $1 less an hour, which is a lot of money when you work hourly.
It
And
is.
so is it worth coming to a place, all the good people or bad people, the what I know is bad or good, you come to this place. So people and counting money, that's how I've made a success, is counting money properly and trying to be a good employer on the people side.
Yeah.
That is the secret to success. And I'm still on the path to paying the bills on Friday.
Yeah. No, and I think that's a really inspiring reminder. It happens every time I talk to a business owner is when they talk about their success, it's their people. And so for anyone who undervalues it, you're hearing it over and over again. It's all about the
Also,
people.
it's also a handicap. I mean, there's a Naval I'm reading. I've heard his last name. That's a lot.
Mhm.
Talking about the book with Naval.
I don't know if I've heard that book. I might have heard of it. It's possible.
Yeah, it's or if you spell it wrong, it's Naval. Say it wrong, but
Yeah.
Naval. And my statement is that it's harder to grow when you need people. People are hard to manage,
Yeah.
and we can make real wealth if we do the same with no people. But um, people also is enjoyable. When you have 51 days of great and 49 days of bad, the 51 days overcomes 49 days of bad.
Yeah, real fast, which is amazing. Yeah. And I'm curious because, okay, so yours is a family founded business and you guys are still family run. So, how was that transition for you guys from taking it from your dad to you and your brother?
So first of all, isn't every company that started a family business?
No.
Also, for ones whatever VE or whatever.
Uh,
They
surprisingly,
fund companies.
it's,
VEs fund
yeah,
companies. So every non-VE company is not a family business.
it's technically owned by one individual, but it's really hard for people to pass it down from from them to their kids. And so I hear a lot too. Some people are trying to get their kids into it, but then a lot of people don't actually get their kids into it. And so then they're finding other ways to do succession, which is fascinating. I mean, we see it with Warren Buffett and his company. His kids are not going to take over just because they don't want to. Like it's just not inspiring
So
to them.
I've been reading a lot,
Mhm.
and the first thing that I've after reading a lot on the soft side is that a family business it in theory allows you to have the family go past 3 generations, not because of anything other than if you had a piece of land or had a high-rise building in your name, you'd have to meet once a month. If you owned farmland or something,
Mhm.
and the old days, as if you had 1,000 acres and you had 10 people, you break it up into smaller lots, and as they pass away, whatever. Long story short, if you can use the business as a tool to help the family stay together, because my goal is that my success at death is that my children's cousins more than know each other and go to weddings and funerals and Thanksgiving. Because if my kids, my grandkids actually like each other and hang out with each other, the cousins, if you can get the first cousins actually liking each other, that's a win for a family. Because
Yeah.
I mean that's on the soft side. And so my goal is to use the tool of the business to bind them. And I also know that operators are they either want to or not to want to, and they can be you want to operate and suck at operating, or you can also operators and owners are different people. So if I was to own 1,000 doors in LA of apartments and I had a property manager and I had a ops guy and I croaked, the kids would own the business but not operate it. So my goal is for them to find their way, if they find their way back to the business as operators, or maybe they're running in the R&D plant, maybe they like painting tiles, maybe I don't know, they love customer service but they're not the owner, the CFO or CEO. I'm fine with that if they have an
Mhm.
owner mentality. So I'm not married to them being owners. I mean, operators. I'm married to them being owners, and I'm
Mhm.
okay if that even fails.
Yeah.
My goal is to make a brand that is its own business at my demise. I'll never know after I die if it lives, but that's my
It's
goal.
true.
But my first goal is really the family, the kids loving each other, the cousins loving each other, or at least liking each other and knowing each other, and not just going to my funeral.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So it's almost like so you've taken this business and you've created it as a vehicle also for bringing family together. So it's kind of like a bigger vision, bigger goal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is the desire. We have my brother and I talk about it on a regular basis. It's really about our children liking each other and, if possible, loving each other. I think our kids love each other, but I'm saying even their kids,
Yeah.
they're all young. I think his kids under 20, I think 19 or 18, maybe 20. I'm getting old. And then I have kids from 13 to 29, and so they like each other. When they hang out together, they love each. They have a blast. We have my brother to do more work to have those times together.
Yeah. And will you run it with your brother? So like what is that like on like in that dynamic? Like how have you guys coordinated and organized that? Because it is hard, by the way. It is hard to work with family. And not because family is hard, but because we are more naturally willing to push family in a way that we don't push employees and
I would
coworkers.
tell you my brother and I had a time in 2021 where it affected our relationship and our business working together. And so my brother and I started out in the business. I ran the front of the house, he ran the factory, and we grew. We grew by a lot. And then he did things that I didn't think about. I love him too much, I don't bring it up. And then I did the same thing. We built up this resentment. It exploded in 2021, 2022. And he was never thinking end of the world. I use the word divorce. He never thought that. I was a doomsdayer. I was the pessimist, but we got through that hurdle, and he is a full-on board member and a full-on owner of the business. He's not an ops anymore as of 2022. So
Mhm.
we did grow the business from when we took on the job being owners, operators, owners. I think it was 20, call it 2000, 2001, 2002. So he came in full time, and we grew. And him and I were latchkey kids growing up, and we trusted each other, loved each other, and we just let
Mhm.
her do her own thing. But as we grew, we got past our skis and didn't know how to do our jobs anymore because they were more complicated. And does that make any sense?
It does. Even hearing you talk about it, because I think the important dynamic is there's a strong level of humility even in what you shared, right? Where you're like, he did some stuff, we don't need to talk about it, but also like I recognize that I was doing the same thing. I had my own challenges. But it is that level of humility where we can not just like stare at someone else's faults, but also like accept and work on our own that helps us to move forward in a family dynamic. It's when we get self-righteous, we get stuck, you know? Yeah, where it's like
I
it's
think
all
the
on this.
wisdom and fear of the Lord is a saying in the Bible, and my paraphrase is when you know you're dumb, you can learn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I I must think I'm really dumb then.
No, I love learning. I have a curious heart, but you're not going to learn if you know everything.
No, I tell people that all the time. I was like, why would you want to know everything? Then there's nothing to learn.
Yeah. Oh, because you know why? Because you want to know everything.
I want to know everything and then I can't. And it's the thing that I think about this all the time. I want to solve so many mysteries and I am going to die not knowing so much, so much. And then I'm gone because I don't have a consciousness after that. So even the mysteries that could be
That
solvable when
would
I
say
die, I never get to know.
you evaporate when you close your eyes forever.
When we close our eyes, we don't have like a consciousness anymore. We're only conscious as like human beings and then we like die. So it's like, then what? And I'm like, okay, well then I don't even get to know that mystery because I'm not Carly anymore.
Get you a coffee. We could talk about what may happen in my worldview after you leave the planet.
Yeah, this will be a fun one.
Go
I
back
have
to
some
the
interesting
quantum mechanics because
quantum.
yeah, I mean, there's something bigger that's something. I believe in the a deity, and we'll keep this PG. But any case, moving on.
No, I actually don't mind talking about that stuff because I'm going to dive in a little bit of a different way. So you're welcome to talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Carly. So, if this conversation is really hitting home and you want to get a real snapshot of what's working and what's not in your business, head on over to my website in the tools and tips section and you can have the business performance health check. In just about 15 minutes, you're going to see where the friction is and where your next growth opportunity lies within your company. But it's interesting because with the quantum physics, its energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. And technically, all things are energy in different forms, which is also creating matter. And we are energy, and situations are energy. So we think on a regular basis. We can get rid of things or bring things in, not realizing it's like the age-old saying by philosophers and mystics and stuff, nothing's missing. Nothing's missing because it just changed form. And so, like, I don't know, maybe growing up, like I had, where did I talk when I was growing up? Mostly I was speaking to my mom and my dad and my sister, and that was my platform. And like maybe I'm not talking to them every day like I used to, but now I'm talking in other ways and I'm teaching in other ways and I'm doing all these other things. So I never lose any parts of myself. I never lose any parts of my life. It just changes form as I grow. So it's a really interesting dynamic when we talk about the quantum physics, and it helps us with this most helpful thing when we feel loss. It's really helpful. So like loss in business, sometimes I'll work with people where they lose money. Like one guy lost a lot of money and we were working on that. But what he gained that he didn't have before was meaning and purpose in his life, and then it was $10 million. And it definitely, the meaning and purpose he got was well over $10 million, which was fascinating. And then it's like, okay, I'm okay with losing that money now because I see where it's in the new form and that was necessary for me. And so it's really fun.
I can't they keep the 10 million bucks and have meaning and purpose?
He's getting it back actually, which is really cool. With meaning and purpose because now he's focused on what matters.
Do you either have loss? Do you have to have loss to have gain? You have to
Well,
talk to each other and ask questions to each other all day.
yeah, we could. This is fun. But it's true.
Uh,
You
uh,
can't create anything without destroying anything. It's the basic like function of our whole entire universe. The Earth is going into a black hole.
without destroying anything. That might be actually true, unfortunately. I'll find a way to poke a hole in that because
Oh, you
I like comparing.
you do it. And you do it so much because I love when people do that because I'm like, let's look. I'll show you an example. But it's the opposite is true as well. You can't destroy anything without creating something simultaneously as well. So
So,
both exist in the vacuum.
so do you believe we're a soul, a mind, and a body, or do you believe we're just a soul and a body?
I think that the mind is used by the soul to get the body to function. One thing that really hit me hard is that the statement, I can't remember who said it, but spirit without matter is motionless, but matter without spirit is meaningless. So the spirit was the essence of our soul. And without the matter, which is the physical body, it can't do anything. It can't express itself, right? It can't move in the world. And matter, like my microphone, right? That has no spirit, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't express itself. So what's
Right.
really interesting, it's like the combo of the two is the expression of the soul. And I think, and this is where I mean, I love philosophy and these are the unanswered questions that we'll never know for the rest of our lives, but we can kind of like guesstimate. But based on what I've uncovered, I think that the mind is the vessel to help us get there. But then we also have challenges that come with the mind, which is part of our growth and our journey to have authenticity and love and get to the other side of our challenges, experience who we are. So our mind also has like tricks it plays on us so that we can have those experiences that help us to become what we are destined to be.
So when the body dies, that's mechanical and that decays. What about all of the energy that was stored in the mind of memory and thoughts? Where did that energy go?
So this is an interesting one. So there's this, so I think it's just in the ethers because what they're starting to, there's a study that was done and there was rats in Africa and rats in North America. And the rats in Africa that were like cousins with the North American rats, when they did something to these, they responded to what was being done. And so there's this theory that like, and I'm gonna butcher all of this because I'm not like amazing at the details of it. But the theory is that the memory is actually not stored in the mind, right? Like it's actually just stored in our sphere. And so it's a really interesting dynamic. And then you wonder, right? Like if someone does pass, like where does all of that go? But they're showing that water stores information. And if water stores information and we have humidity in our air, like where are we actually storing our information? I'm not certain, but I do know if anyone's worked with someone, like when you work with a great intuitive, like there are intuitives that are not wonderful at all and they say weird stuff, but when you work with a great intuitive and they ask you questions and you're like, how are they doing that? I really believe that they're tapping into the information that's present, you know, and they're just present enough to be able to tap into the information because they're present with you as opposed to like trying to show off on how cool they are without the info. It's an interesting dynamic.
Right. I had someone go to my door. I'm good right now. Sorry, cut it out later.
That's fine. I usually
Uh,
keep it in because it's just life.
it's real. Uh, yeah, I think that when we pass, even before I was a believer, I did believe that we had a different form. And one of the hardest parts that I had when I became a believer, if it's okay to bring up, is losing my identity as a person because of how I've read. And I do think that when we pass, we are with the in heaven at some point in time, we are the clean version of Carly without the needs that are defective. That it's only the good part of Carly, that unique parts of Carly, her good fingerprints that lives on, and not all of the, as we know, the things that we brought as baggage along the way that may prompt good things from it. You know, you can deal with trauma in different ways, but in any case, that's me. I apologize. I can go that way for a long time.
Existential crises are my favorite, by the way. I feel that they're a great option for self-discovery.
Oh yeah, my biggest fear in life, I'd be my the same issue is I I am fearful of how blind I am to myself. I am like
Yeah.
I, my biggest concern is I'm not self aware. That means I probably am okay. That's my that's my my thesis. If I'm fearful of being unaware, I may not be unaware because at least I am questioning myself, but I still worry that I'm unaware.
So this is amazing because you're totally accurate. The things that are most important to us, we feel the most like behind in, right? And it's interesting because there'll be this dynamic where you have a large quantity of self-awareness, but because there's also a void there that's linked to that value, there's going to be a never-ending pursuit to keep trying to fill that void, which means that you'll gain a level of mastery in it, which is kind of cool.
Well, I just don't want to be blind to me having body odor or you know, or what you know what I'm saying.
I do. I actually 100% do because even that dynamic of being blind, it is very hard to capture a lot of our own stuff. Like there are times when even I'm on the phone with my coach and we have a good laugh because she'll repeat something and she'll be like, Carly, I asked you this. And she'll say it like 5 times. And I literally feel my brain rewiring, trying to get what she's trying to say to me. And she goes, you know this. And she'll be like, you know this. And then I finally get it. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even notice. How long have I been doing this? My whole life. Like I've just been running this in my head, thinking everything's okay. And I was like, I did not even notice I had that perception. And so it's quite amazing that we really are incredibly blind to a significant quantity of things. But I also truly believe that we are only made aware of it or we make ourselves aware of it when we are ready to shift it in our life, when it's time. And that there's actually like even meaning and purpose to that.
A lot of words, Carly.
Yeah, it is a lot of words.
I didn't know you were so blind to yourself till right
I'm
now.
so fucking blind.
Yeah, bleep that out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like we're having too much fun for this podcast about like if I met you at a hotel at a part airport lounge, we talk forever.
Yeah.
That's the style of your podcast is like, hey stranger, at the coffee shop at the LAX. and then talk for an hour before the plane takes off. Is that the normal format here?
It's become the normal format. I really love business, so business is going to be involved in it. But I think what's interesting is kind of instead of locking myself into what someone thinks or what I thought it should be, I was like, why don't I let this be a natural dynamic so that I can naturally have people? I want people to be themselves. I genuinely do. And I think it's true. Like for me, a business is amazing, but it's also a reflection of a person, right? So it's like all the things that we discuss is also part of ARTO Tile, right? I haven't met your brother, I haven't talked to your brother, but he will be infused in that as well, right? Your dad is infused in that. And I think it's really interesting. Yeah, go for
I
it.
have a question. No, the question was, this is probably something you've sat and thought about. I thought about it as well, but not at one time. Is it possible, uh, for let's pick a real one. Not REI, but Patagonia. The guy's still around. He has a mission. He made the Earth the owner. At the same time, the Earth ownership is run by 25 people that are not the Earth. So we're going to call it a corporate company, still, right?
Yes.
Right. Let's be honest. He did a good job of giving the Earth a voice, but they're still run by people, not the founder.
Yeah.
How long before Patagonia is not the company that was started? I mean, it might be a good company still. It might, but how long is it not Patagonia? How long is Arto not Arto? How long is Tesla not Tesla? When these or Amazon not Amazon when these founders leave, and there's like how
Yeah.
long can it be? How long?
So it doesn't have to go away, but the successor, it's really important for the successor to be like understand the long-term vision of the company, understand the mission, and understand what's truly important and viable, And if they don't, then it'll shift to what that individual who takes over wants it to be. So when people choose a successor, if they want the company to stand the test of time with that dynamic, with what's important to them, it's also taking on the successor that they have certainty has that same vision, that is fueled by that vision. I think Chanel's like a really interesting company. Like, we have this lady in the beginning and she's getting women to wear pants, right? So what a game changer in the world. But they're still doing things in the company to change how things are done, how things are run, right? Like they want to be sustainable. They want to be a sustainable fashion company. And it's funny hearing it from this company that's charging me 20 grand for like a jacket, right? We want to be sustainable. But then simultaneously they're building like
Sort of way fast. That's for sure.
No, you don't. And you save that shit. That goes up in price, by the way. Do not don't get rid of Chanel. Uh so it's interesting because like they're creating that company that also they're taking these old fabrics and they're repurposing them and creating new fabrics. So they're becoming a fabric mill, but a sustainable fabric mill. And that's also a very edgy thing to do. So they're still being edgy. There's still like an essence and a soul that I feel like I could still connect to from that first woman who put out pants. And now they still put out fashion clothes that they're so elegant, but like somehow kind of edgy at the same time. And I feel like there's still a connection. So if the people who take over still have the connection with how it originated, it 100% can survive. It'll change with the time so the company survives itself. But like if that essence is there and people stay connected with it, that's what's really valuable. But getting that in your company as well with your culture, then it'll stick better.
So like Verizon could have been kept the heart of Ma Bell. It could, if they broke up all the phone companies.
It could potentially, yeah, as long as the individuals who are doing the succession are connected with that vision and that vision still works, the core values of a company can stay forever as long as people want those core values to stick.
So in a family business, then I feel a little bit good about what you just said. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. So at minimum, if the kids sell the company when I croak, that's on them. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's minimum though, if I get a good number two or three getting trained up, or several number twos that have, and then the family, if what I'm saying is what I want to happen, that they become owners, and then are operators. So what the future owners as a group may pick the correct next leader of the company that will give it a chance to remain in the same direction with a different flavor. Same
Yeah.
or same flavor, a different direction, whatever the right way to say it is.
Totally.
Yeah, okay.
Because
So
the flavor can
the
be the
ownership
same.
matters. The ownership matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ownership matters.
At least that's like on the next leader, the ownership does matter more than as much as the leader of the next gen. The next person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, ownership 100% because that's the person at the helm making the decisions. But if the decisions are constantly in alignment with that core vision, then it's like, well, how do we adjust to the market and hold on to that vision?
I'm gonna write down there that the board is the holder of the flame.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. That's
very-
really cool.
They want to make sure you run a business, but board holds the holder of the flame.
Yeah, I actually love that. That's beautiful.
Hopefully, I can read that later on.
Yeah.
They'll be lost forever into the eternity.
Okay, so
They'll be lost. They'll be in a landfill shredded somewhere.
honestly, there's probably some really cool stuff in landfills. I'm not even gonna lie. I think about that sometimes where it's like, what do you think has been thrown away that is amazing? One of my mentors, he was throwing some books away, and then I was looking at his notes and I was like, can I keep these? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, good, because these are really valuable notes. Like, you should take some pictures. Uh,
It's it all.
exactly. Okay, so this has been really fun. I would love for you to share. So there is this dynamic. What do you really view Arto being in the next like 10 to 20 years as you move forward?
My goal for the business is that when you are building a home and if any of the materials, whether it's textiles, hard surfaces, even home goods that are in our genre, I do mean that we make cool shit for cool people, and in a handcrafted look. Maybe not always handcrafted. But my goal is that people want it, and if they can't have all of it, they have something in their homes that makes them go, I was glad they're part. I'm glad they're part of the story of the owner of the home, or the owner of the restaurant, or the owner of the hotel or school. That I did I ask me the question again? I think I effed it up.
No, I think it's perfect because this is where you want it to be in 10 to 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really, Carl, when you build your fifth home, I want to be part of your story.
Mhm.
And I say part of my story. I want to be part of your story. I want you to go, I have this vision, and I only know one company can help me execute it.
Mhm.
That's that's what I want to do. Like, you might have a different, your house in the Hamptons and the house in the Arrowhead are different. Maybe the house in Santa Fe, you call me, you go, I know who can pull this off. So,
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. I will say you're doing it. You're totally doing it. You're already part of the vision. You are the person who I'm like, this is who's going to do this stuff in the future. Like, I've already got it nailed down. So it's really inspiring to see that on the other side, like your vision truly is coming to life. So it's very cool.
thank you. And I have if you ask me for it, I'll give it to you. I made I drew it in by hand, and someone made it look prettier just 15 years ago or longer. It's a picture of the cycle of life for Arto.
Mhm.
I got Providence. I got my dad's hand watering a seed, and then really the word of mouth is the power. Because when Carly tells somebody they like it, they say that the who Carly tells actually that a better customer than the Carly herself. I just
Yeah. It's true. That's amazing. And I think this is like, takeaway from business because it sounds like you're a very thoughtful person about life, about business, about what it means to you. It's not just the business, but it's also the family dynamic. Yeah, and it is very thoughtful, but this is the evidence. Like the evidence comes true that when we are that thoughtful about things and we put these things in place and you have this visual of what you would love to do with the company, like it really is coming into fruition, and it's amazing.
I cut you off. I'll raise my
Mhm.
hand now.
Yeah, I know you're good.
I was gonna say, if anything I tell anybody else, that's over their journey, is if you can sooner than later hire a professional financial person, whether it's a fractional or top of the line CPA or in-house CFO, strategic counting of beans, not just counting of beans. Number one, do that sooner than
Mhm.
later. I'd have more money to lose and find myself. To a joke earlier today. Um, and then I would say read a lot, read more. If you don't read a lot, read more. If you read more, read more, and then trust your gut after that. And there is no rules to trusting your gut. Because that way when you come to work on a bad day, is yourself. You know,
Yep.
don't fake it. If you can be the same person with your family as you are at work, you're a winner. I mean, you are really a winner in life. If you can be the same person at work and as an O with your friends, I think that's the easiest. That is work-life balance.
Yeah, I definitely
Be yourself
agree.
all the time, whether it's good or bad. It's
All of it.
a total release, not to worry about. Well, it's good to be yourself.
Yeah, it actually feels really good. I totally agree with you. And it's an interesting dynamic. It's one of the reasons why I like having a business. It's because it just really gives you the opportunity to do that. I've had a couple employers in the past, two in particular, that allowed me to do that, and I stuck with them the longest, by the way. Yeah, so it really makes a difference when you don't have to separate yourself.
Yeah, be yourself. Be who you were created in my worldview by God, your worldview by physics only. I'm just gonna give you a hard time. And yeah, just be who you're trust your gut. It's not that bad. It is
Yeah.
much that the back to the rat thing. It's what connects us with our friends in other countries and other planets.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely the cash flow dynamic too. So important. We talk about that a lot. It is very important. And I think that that is really wise advice to make sure that people are connecting with their cash flow so that they're strong enough to keep growing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Super important. Okay. Anything else that you would love to share before we
I
sign
had a
off?
blast talking to a new friend. I don't love it. I have no agenda. I hope to sell more tile.
I hope so too. His style's amazing. It's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
We do have on a separate note, if we do have open houses often, if you happen to like the brand, check the website and we'll have tours. You don't have to spend any money. Just come and walk around and people make tile.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I think it is fun. I think it gives you ideas too. Sometimes I just look at like the stuff that you guys have created, and there's one tile that you have that you put on this fireplace and I'm just like dying. Like it's beautiful, it's stunning, it's amazing. It's like a game changer in the room. So, yeah, speaking of like this is where you think of like this is where I'm gonna go. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have my fireplace look like that.
That's for a discount, Carly. All right, this also get a discount.
No, no, no,
I'm
no.
Arrow wants a pie, like you said earlier.
Yeah, you are Air One of Tile. They don't give, well, they give me 10% off because I'm a member.
I didn't do that. They asked me to spend 180 bucks, $6
It's
member.
$200 and I get 10% cash back and a free smoothie every month. So when I calculate it, I'm like, will I get that money back at the end of the year? And I'm like, yes, it equates to that, especially. And I love going get my free smoothie.
I don't go enough. I said that's a count pay full price.
Yeah, I go enough. I go more than I care to admit. But again, the trick is do not grocery shop there. Love you, Air One. Can't give you that credit. Go buy the hot food. Yeah. All right. So
One bag of chips there pays the mortgage. Good.
totally. That's what I said. Just get the hot food at the hot food bar. It's just like going to an organic restaurant with good food. That's all you're going to.
Really. I had a awesome croissant. The scrambled eggs were perfect, and they had shredded ham that was the French kind of ham,
Yeah.
with the year cheese. I thought I went to heaven. I had
Honestly.
spring water. I'm hungry. I'm salivating.
Yeah, they really did do a good job on that. Funny enough, I don't know if you ever saw the Air one when it first started. So the original one was on Beverly and La Brea, and I used to work in that neighborhood. So before the owners took it over, it was owned by a Jewish company or a couple, and it was just an organic restaurant or just an organic like cafe slash grocery store. And it wasn't what it is today. Like they have taken it and turned it into like an icon brand that people seek out. It's amazing what they've done with it. It's actually quite incredible because it was a small store that wasn't actually producing a lot of income to basically this chain that they're just starting to really dominate like the organic grocery market. It's pretty amazing.
Great. I mean, any walking, it's like if there any town has a walking city, it'd be great to have it in the center. Is there
Yeah.
aircon in New York? I'm going there next week.
Oh, so what I heard is they put the Air One in this like private club. That's what I heard. And so you have to be like a part of the private club and it's like a thing, but they have like a Air One.
Membership, Air One
Yeah.
membership, and the club membership.
I'll skip the club membership. From what I remember, it was pretty high. I don't want to misquote it, but it was pretty high. And I was like, I don't know who I'm going to meet there, but I don't think it's worth paying that much. Okay, so where can people find your tile? What is the website so we can make sure they check it out?
Currently, as of this date, which is October 3rd, I'm dating your thing. As of October 31st, 2025, I prefer Instagram to be discovered because there's a lot more fresh pictures there. I mean that there's a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of R&D. And then we do have a website called arto.com. So on Instagram, it's ARTO Brick. And our domain name is either ARTO Brick or Arto. But
Yeah.
fresh, like what's going on new, what I'm talking to the camera, it's at ARTO Brick on Instagram.
Yeah.
It works as well on the internet.
Okay, cool. I would also say ARTO Brick on Instagram is really cool because not only do you have all your stuff, but people are tagging you and how they've utilized it. And you really get so many ideas of like how to apply this in different ways. And it really is quite stunning. So I can't wait for people to give you feedback about it because it's amazing. And yeah, it's amazing. And anything else you'd love to share before we hop off?
This was better than I thought, Carly. I had really. By the way, I looked up Carly Price. I thought you were gonna sell me something. She may still sell me something at the end.
You did think I was like, I just need to do a pre-call, bro.
Uh, so I was it's a good hour. It was a fun hour, and if someone wants, you can clip it out, and share it to somebody for when you get more people to talk to you. I had a good time hanging with you for an hour. If you were local, I'd see you once a month when you at Erewhon to get you buy me a smoothie once a month.
I'll get you a smoothie. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so thank you so much for coming. We'll close out on that so I can make the sale. Just kidding. Yeah. But we will close out at this time. And I do really appreciate you coming. I think everyone's really going to enjoy it, not just to see the tile, but like the one of the men behind the tile. So thank you again for this.